Kayla Malec has spilled the tea on the James Charles situation, and it seems James Charles left out a few details when he did his 10-minute video explaining what was going on. Kayla had been saying she was going to share her side of the story once things died down, and she did it in a big way. She did 3 10-minute videos explaining everything that went down with her ex-boyfriend, Evan Johnson, who is now in prison for abusing Kayla, and her ex-friend, James Charles. First of all, the two of them seemed to agree that they were not, in fact, besties. They were not even friends. They were more acquaintances that once in a while did some collabs together and texted each other once in a blue moon.
I would not consider me and James to be best friends at all. I don't even think I'd consider us close friends. We were acquaintances, but I don't think that excuses anything that happens in my opinion, but that's the best way to describe it.
Kayla shared that the first time she shared any content with her ex, Evan, James Charles immediately messaged her asking who he was. And she wasn't playing around, she came with receipts. So she showed a screenshot of the messaging between her and James, and you can see that James responded to her video that had Evan in it, and he said, "Girl, who is this?" And Kayla responds, "James, oh boy, did I fall in love with a Tennessee man." And he says, "Oh God." 2 months later, he responds to another video of hers, and he says he's literally so hot, girl. OMG, good for you. And she writes, "I'm pissing, haha, thank you, my first W." 5 months later, another response to one of her videos saying, "God, he's so beautiful, OMFG." Now, pay attention, however. There are no other messages from James Charles other than him messaging her to tell her how hot her boyfriend is.
Literally, the only DMs we have in the past year is him saying how hot my boyfriend is. Cool, whatever. Just like, what the, like looking at this shit now, what the fuck? Like, it's not funny. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Kayla and Evan then go to a party with some friends, and James Charles is there. Now, James has not met Evan yet, so Kayla introduces them, and she says that they end up having this big, long conversation, and this is what Evan tells her was said at the party.
Evan did tell me after that James was just saying how Evan was the hottest guy at the bar, and he was the hottest guy there. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but that's what I was told.
Shortly after this in January, Kayla and Evan and a couple friends go on vacation in Hawaii. Kayla says this is basically the end of the relationship. They were not in a good place. And she says while they're there, Evan and James Charles start messaging each other on Instagram.
Evan starts saying that James is DMing him on Instagram. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing James? Like, immediately I'm just like, fuck no. Like, you're not going to do that. That's weird in my opinion. We look over at the phone, and Evan sends James a picture on Instagram. So, like, you know how you snap on Snapchat? Like, doing that on Instagram, like, sending pictures back and forth. And Evan is like, you should go to Hawaii with us. And James sends back this saying, like, why should I come to Hawaii? And that, for the first time, is when I was like, what the fuck?
Kayla actually took a video of this taking place because apparently Evan writes James Charles and says, "You should come to Hawaii." And this is what James responds with. This picture. Kayla took a picture of Evan's phone and he says, "Why should I come?" with his duck face. Evan's laughing in this video thinking it's funny, but Kayla and her 2 friends are kind of like, what's going on here? This is Kayla's reaction to seeing the picture of James Charles. So Kayla and Evan have now broken up, and in early February, she gets a message from James Charles asking if her and Evan would do some sort of collab with him. Now, she responds with this.
That was the last time we texted until he flew Evan out to California. But in these, I made it pretty clear that Evan had fucked me over. I brought up abuse, the worst thing a human can do. I made it crystal fucking clear that I was fucked over in a pretty big way.
James Charles, in his 10-minute video, claims at this point that he thinks Kayla's being funny and he thinks that she's joking, and he responds with, "Can I have him now?" I don't think there is anything joking or funny in any of the messages Kayla sent him. At this point, Kayla hadn't come out with her video series yet telling everything that Evan had done to her, so a lot of people didn't know what was going on in her life, and this is what James Charles does behind her back.
Me and Evan have our final call, and this is when Evan says to me, if you tell people what I did to you, that means you never loved me. In the beginning of that phone call, while we're talking, he brings up me making a 30-part series. And I immediately am like, how the fuck do you know that? And he quote said a 30-part series. The only fucking person that I texted about making a 30-part series was James. But Evan told me that James had sent him screenshots of our messages warning Evan that I was going to make a 30-part series. Once again, don't know how true that is, but it makes fucking sense.
The next thing Kayla knows, she sees her ex, Evan, uploading some Snapchats from an odd location. She recognizes the background as being James Charles's backyard, and she also sees that Evan tags that he's in Encino, which is where James Charles lives. So she immediately reaches out to James Charles and asks, "Is Evan at your house right now?" She's even shared the screenshots of this text, and you can tell she's so uncomfortable asking him this, but she just feels she needs to. She writes, "This is so random. I hope you're doing good. Okay, so random. Are you with Evan? Ha ha ha. This probably sounds so weird." And James Charles responds back and says, "What? Your ex, Evan?" With like the "I'm dying" face. And she writes, "Ha ha ha, yes. He posted a picture and it looked like your backyard. Ha ha, I was so confused." And he writes, "Why would Evan be in my backyard?" And she writes, "No, I literally have no idea. Ha ha ha. Sorry, this was so random. I love you." And he writes, "Love you too." Well, it turns out that's exactly where Evan was. James Charles lied through his teeth to Kayla. He had actually flown Kayla's ex-abusive boyfriend to his home for the whole weekend. And the way Kayla found out was thanks to this guy. So this is Evan's ex-friend, Zach. Zach was hanging out with Evan all the time. He knew allegedly what was going on with James Charles. And so he posted videos outing Evan for being at James Charles. And this was during Coachella weekend where James Charles and Kayla happened to be.
So then it is Coachella weekend and a video is posted exposing James to have flown my ex-boyfriend out to California. The second that this video goes public, James starts to blow up my phone, asking if I'm at Coachella, saying that we need to talk.
So James Charles now is completely panicking, and this is what he starts doing. So as soon as the video drops on Zach's TikTok channel, he immediately writes Kayla and says, "Are you here at Coachella?" And she writes, "Yeah, I am." And he says, "Where are you? Can I talk to you?" And she says, "Honestly, is it okay if we talk about this tomorrow? I'm with my friends right now." He responds with this, saying, "Yes, of course it is. I lied to you and I shouldn't have. I felt guilty for weeks, but I didn't know how to tell you and I owe you the truth. But I want to explain to you what happened from my mouth, not this Zach guy." And good for Kayla. She sticks to her guns and she's like, "Too bad, I'm not talking to you right now." He writes back, "And then you can feel however you want to. You have every right to." And she goes, "Yeah, you're right." But again, she says, "Let's talk about this tomorrow. I'm with my friends." And then she adds, "I've known for a while, but I saw the proof today. I'm just shocked." And he responds, "There's actually a ton to explain. That's why I was trying to figure out how to tell you, but I'm annoyed with myself for allowing you to find out this way instead of just telling you myself. But I panicked. Let's call tomorrow and I'll tell you everything." And she says, "Okay." And then he feels to add this. "He manipulated me as well, and I fell for it, but I completely cut him off the second I saw your video. I stand by you 1000% and need you to know that." Kayla has a great answer to this. She says, "How did you get to the point for him to manipulate you? I told you he abused me the day we broke up. Then you texted him the day I told you that. But I would rather talk to you about this tomorrow." And I absolutely love that she adds this line at the bottom saying, "You met him because he was my boyfriend, you know."
And honestly, if you knew you weren't doing anything wrong, why didn't you just straight up answer my fucking question and say, "Yeah, he's here, we're friends"? If you're just being there for a friend and that you think he's a good person, why do you feel the need to have to lie to me about it? You're being there for a quote friend that is your ex or your friends, acquaintances, ex-boyfriend that I told you was abusive.
And God love Kayla because she does give him some credit for trying to reach out to her multiple times afterwards. Again, it's because he felt guilty and he got caught. Kayla's not stupid. She knows exactly what was going on here and exactly the goal he had in mind. She knows why he apologized. She knows why he was blowing her phone up at Coachella, and she had this to say.
I do not think that if I did not find out through TikTok and if this shit was not made public, I do not think I would have ever found out. I don't think I ever would have received a "I've felt guilty for weeks" text.
And as for that 10-minute video that James Charles uploaded trying to explain his side of things, this is what Kayla thinks of that.
I just think it's a load of bullshit. And watching the apology video quite literally pissed me off even more.
She also had a lot to say about the fact that he uploaded this video on the day that Kayla had to go to court with Evan Johnson for what he did to her. Not only that, but he uploaded this video just 1 hour after she got her victory. After he was found guilty and courted off to jail, he wasted no time in getting this video up.
But to do it an hour after I win the court case is fucking crazy, in my opinion. An hour, 1 hour after I announced that I win the court case, here's a 10-minute video, and all my comments are now flooded with, "Did you see James's new video?"
After hearing Kayla's side of everything, I now think that James Charles should have spent that 10 minutes that he made in that video groveling and begging Kayla for forgiveness. What he did to her is not okay. Going after her boyfriend, flying him out to his home, spending a whole weekend with him, and then lying through his teeth to Kayla about it, not good. That video should have been all about Kayla and not defending himself. And Kayla had an extremely good point. He was quick to share screenshots of a lot of things, but he didn't share one message between him and Kayla's ex-abusive boyfriend, Evan Johnson.
I think that he fucked up. James fucked up, and he fucked me over. And it was a shitty thing to do. I do find it interesting, though, that James posted conversation receipts with everybody except for his Instagram DMs with my ex-boyfriend.
Kayla ended the video in a very nice way. She said the moral of the story is that he basically messed up. He hurt her. None of it should have happened. The timing was weird. It was very evident what his goal was in this whole thing. And I think my favorite part of all of this is after she uploaded this video, she posted a video on her Snapchat, and this is what it was.
I thought I was going to be calm about it, but I was getting pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm kind of pissed right now. I'm kind of, like, pissed right now after talking about... I kind of want to, like, refilm it, like, pissed as fuck. Because I'm, like, really pissed.
Now I want to hear from you guys. After hearing Kayla's side of the story, what are your thoughts? I know Kayla said that this isn't about teams, but it kind of is. Let me know in the comments, are you Team Kayla or Team James Charles?